What it do, 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 world. What it do, 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 world. Hey. Oh, what it do, bro? What it do? What it do? Shalom, family. Hope everybody good out there. Let me clear my throat. Mm. Let's just go ahead and get this going. Let's get this going. Yes, yes, y'all. So, yeah. That's what we need to do. Make sure we are loud and clear. I just had some tea. I should have cleared it out. But hope everybody's good out there. Hope everybody's good out there. Man, what is going on? It's in the air? Is it in the air? I hope not. Because I know that I've definitely been quarantined off from the world. Nah, not really. Getting out, getting a breath of fresh air. But nonetheless, happy Sunday, Shemesh, to all the Shemeshites out there doing your thug thistle. So, yeah. So, wait, hold up. Why am I not getting my front camera? That is weird. It's showing, but it's not showing. It's showing on there, but not on here. I have no clue why I would do that. Well, I'm not trying to hide it, but man, I should have got some more water. In the meantime, between time, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It is definitely a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And so, for some reason, okay, so that won't pop up, but that will pop up. My screen is not up. So, yeah, that is very interesting. That would not be showing like it typically would. But only thing is I can't tell if you guys can hear me or see me. I think for the most part you guys can see me. I think can hear me. I think. But anyways, let's see what we are up to today. It is a hot and wild one. A hot, cold, and wild one. Ain't it? Ain't it? It's just a hot and cold and wild one. So let me just get some of these out the way because they are. Ooh, it is definitely going down out here.
Taxes.
Yeah, we all know about them. So, yeah, this article is about the Los Angeles landmarks from film and TV damaged by wildfires. I got a bunch of videos, y'all, so bear with me.
It's all gone. All gone. I mean, the kids were born here, raised them here, 20-some years. Built this and it's completely gone.
It is safe to say that the Palisades fire is one of the most destructive natural disasters in the history of Los Angeles.
Aerial photos from above are giving us a scope of the destruction in Los Angeles from the fierce wildfires that have devastated the area. Churches, schools, libraries, bars, restaurants, and grocery stores all gone. Hello, I'm Jessica Janner Castro. 3 major fires are still burning. They have burned tens of thousands of acres since they sparked on Tuesday. The Palisades fire and the Eaton fire have been the most destructive. Official estimate of the homes and structures burned are in the thousands, and as of Thursday afternoon, we know at least 5 people have died. Nearly 200,000 people in the Los Angeles area are under an evacuation warning, and these numbers continue to change. Another fire that sparked in the Hollywood Hills Wednesday night is under control. Here's the latest on what we know.
From above, a glimpse into the destruction caused by the Los Angeles wildfires. Homes burned to nothing in Altadena. On the ground, scenes of devastation, with entire communities, block after block of houses, consumed by the flames. Firefighters are continuing their battle to control the series of major wildfires stretching from the Pacific coast to Pasadena. 5 people have been killed so far, with nearly 2,000 homes and businesses destroyed, and that number is only expected to rise. Many who had seen the fires spreading towards their homes made attempts to protect their houses. Some, like former firefighter George, were successful. Others were not.
About 5 of my friends' house burned down. Wow. That live up the street, and when it's a wind-driven fire, there's nothing that very little we can do. And so I took all the precautions to clear my yard. I didn't want none of this to catch fire.
There were scenes of chaos in LA's most famous neighborhoods as thousands of people attempted to flee homes and hotels after evacuation orders were given.
I live here. I've been here for 21 years, but yeah, it's time to get out of that. Even though, I've been waiting for Runyon. I've lived here 16 years in this place for finally have a fire, and I guess it finally happened.
While calming winds have meant that firefighters have made progress in controlling the wildfires, stretched water systems hampered by power outages have caused hydrants to run dry. Many are now questioning why the water system buckled when it was needed most. About 45 square miles have been consumed by the fires, an area roughly the size of the city of San Francisco. The fire is already the most destructive in Los Angeles' history.
President Joe Biden said during a White House briefing Thursday that he was making federal resources available. He's also approved additional funding that will cover 100% of the cost for the next 180 days. People from all over the country are closely watching the situation in Los Angeles, especially those who have family in the area. Reporter Gabriel Porras spoke to families in Northern California who are keeping in close contact with their loved ones.
I think that might be my grandma's neighborhood.
Celine Lopez's eyes have been glued to her phone in Stockton the past 24 hours, and her thoughts,
that instinct to worry is when it's someone you know, right?
With her family in the nightmarish path of the Eaton fire's flames.
Who lives in Altadena, he had to evacuate since around 6:30 yesterday, and it was right up, I think, against his home.
And this is what's left of that home right next to his, parts of the neighborhood where Celine and her family had just rang the new year in last week, now reduced to ashes as more family members get ready to evacuate.
It's been a few days for all of that to be so different, and to like really pray for our family's safety. You know, that's so scary.
Meanwhile, for Lodi native Andres Rufino,
it's honestly pretty sad.
About 7 miles is all that separates him from the absolute destruction. But a few miles in these conditions offers few comforts.
And it's honestly scary because like 7 miles is pretty close in terms of that, especially if it's spreading that fast.
When Andres moved from San Joaquin County to Southern California 2 years ago, he never thought he'd see anything like this.
A bunch of houses are being burned down. People are leaving their cars on the road. This morning, there's a bunch of ash on top of cars.
A nightmare now realized in Southern California, sending waves of concern all across the state.
And who knows how long it'll take to recover.
I hope this is contained, and I hope that we're not going to be looking at such more tragedy in the next coming days.
In Stockton, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
Some posts online claim one of the iconic structures destroyed is the Hollywood sign. Reporter Casey Decker verifies the images being shared on social media.
Yet another fire broke out in Los Angeles on Wednesday, this one in the Hollywood Hills. These images soon spread online, appearing to show the iconic Hollywood sign burning. But are they real? Let's verify. Our sources are CAL FIRE, the LA Fire Department, and the Hollywood Sign Trust. The answer is no. These images of the Hollywood sign burning are not real. The Hollywood sign is located in Griffith Park, and CAL FIRE maps show fires have not reached the park. The chair of the Hollywood Sign Trust confirmed to verify, quote, "The sign is not affected and is secure." LA Fire said they were able to stop the nearby fire's progress fairly quickly, thanks in part to air support. The fake images of the sign burning appear to have been made with AI. One of them even has a watermark from the AI tool Grok. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
The wildfires have also burned several celebrities' homes and forced some stars to evacuate.
I have never seen flames from my house like this, ever. This is insanity.
Okay, so
well, thank you, Chief.
There's a fire right by my house. We're with friends.
Okay, we found everyone. We're packing up the car, getting ready to cut off.
Well, we ended up losing our house fire, and thank God we are safe.
Actress Jamie Lee Curtis, who lives in one of the neighborhoods impacted, has pledged $1 million to relief efforts. The Critics' Choice Awards, originally scheduled for Sunday in Santa Monica, has been postponed until February 26th. Film and TV studios have also canceled movie premieres and production on several TV series. At least 20 people have been arrested on suspicion of looting. Deputies made the arrests in evacuated zones.
In the midst of the emergency, we've all seen individuals who are targeting vulnerable communities by burglarizing and looting homes. This is simply unacceptable. Shame on those who are preying on our residents during this time of crisis.
The local sheriff's office said they will hold suspects responsible and will be patrolling for any looting or other criminal activity.
Taxes was.
Yes, it is such a shame. It sure is, huh? Yes. It's a shame that all these things have happened. And it was a shame when that was happening in every Black community around the world throughout history. It's very, very boomerangish. You've had a lot of people lose a lot of stuff out here, man. Anthony Hopkins, he was in the movie The Edge, great movie. This is about to have people really distraught. This is just not something that is just It's just like, it's not just a, yeah, I got it. I can do that. No, you're talking about hundreds of people, thousands now of people that have watched everything they have go up in flames and lose it in 24 hours. That's wild. It's just so much around this right now, so much emotion that got people in, like, instinctively getting up, jumping up, Got people coming from all over the world. You got people who got songs that are hitting the, you know, you know, hitting the charts now. So like the Doors, the hit "Light My Fire" was written in the Pacific Palisades. That home got burned up. How? How revelatory is that? In 1967, Robbie Krieger, the guitarist for LA band The Doors, wrote the hit single. Matter of fact, I'll just put it up here. I'm sitting here looking at it, not showing it. So you can see that The Doors hit "Light My Fire" was written in Pacific Palisades home that burned down. So things are just like becoming such an eerie, like spooky comedy, you know. Yeah, I don't know what 1967, but the bands wrote the hit single "Light My Fire" in the living room of his parents' Pacific Palisades home this week. Nearly 6 decades later, the lyrics took on a disturbing resonance as the structure where the music originated burned to the ground. The home of Alma Rail Drive has been owned for the last 24 years by Claudio and Kathleen Boltiansky. On Thursday, after each lugged a 60-pound electric bicycle up a locally known hillside, via secret stairs, the couple were able to gain access to their street in the Huntington Palisades. 2 days prior, when the devastating wildfire first erupted, Claudio had set up a security camera in the backyard to monitor the blaze. By the time the power went out on Tuesday night, he could see that the homes neighboring his appeared to be engulfed in flames. Still, the Argentine immigrant who owns the fine French antique shop in West Adams remained hopeful. Yeah, not no more. Not no more. This was not only the home where the Doors' famous song was written, it was where Claudio 61 sometimes hosted his buddies for their monthly poker games with a $60 bucket, where his sons and daughters used to catch their school bus, where their mantle proudly displayed a vintage photograph of Kathleen's grandparents on the day they came back engaged. Now it was gone. It would be one thing to just lose our house, but the biggest loss were feelings in our whole community, said Kathleen, 56, and an interior designer. It's never going to be the same. As they struggled to absorb their new reality, the Boltianskis said they've been disappointed by the prevailing narrative that the Palisades as a solely affluent community. The misconception people have about the Palisades is that they think that everybody's rich. People should know that this is not Beverly Hills, which has always been expensive. Before the 2000s, the Palisades was a very affordable neighborhood, like any part of Los Angeles. Yeah, okay. People have been there for 20, 30 years, are people that are hard workers. Okay, plumbers, electricians, small business owners. Yes, rich people live there, but so do hardworking rural people who were fortunate to buy at the right time and rode it all the way to the Ben Affleck moving in nearby, On Monday, Claudia was organizing a lunch at Fogo de Chao to gather with a handful of other men from the Palisades, the majority of whom also lost their homes. Most of them became friends when their kids were in preschool. We need community right now, not money. People need to know that others care and are suffering with them at the same time. In a few years, he hopes he'll be able to start hosting low stakes gambling gatherings at the home he rebuilt on Alma Real. He and Kathleen are unwavering about that. They will return. We're able to rebuild it as our forever home, he said. She said, but Polly Strong is about community, and community is not the houses or the shops, it's the people. We pray that we will come back. We pray we will come back. And that's where we're at with it. The surreal boomerang. The rod hits the ground. And these very dark horror, like horrific realities are like coming to light in so many different aspects of everybody's story. To see that the misconception that everybody's rich and everybody is hardworking over there. Yeah, no, yeah. It was a community. It was y'all kept a certain type of community. Yes. Yes. Certain type. So yeah. What we have here is a case of do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. Yeah, you're going to need community because asking rents skyrocket in LA. That's how much it's going to cost for you to live in LA now. This is scarcity. This is Bitcoin right here. That's how much it's going to cost for you to live in LA right now. You're either going to be on Skid Row or in Tent City with the thousands of people, or you're going to be coughing up $29,500 a month. Yes. Rental housing prices in LA are spiking as historic fires burn in Southern California, forcing thousands of residents who've lost homes to scramble to find a new place to live. Spotted one Zillow listing for a furnished home in Bel Air that was posted Saturday morning for damn near $30,000. That's nearly 86% price hike from September 2024, according to the listing price history, which shows the home previously listed at $15,900. Yeah, wow. When the reported calling the listing agent, Fiora Ashton with Compass, she said dozens of prospective tenants who've lost homes to the fires have been contacting her about this and other listings on LA West Sides. When LAist asked why the advertised rent for the Bel Air home had risen so sharply, she said she was getting another call and hung up. It's crazy. Ashton said before ending the call, I've been in the business for 35 years. I've been in the business for 35 years. I've never seen anything like this. People are desperate. There's so many families without a house. LA has reached out to Compass Media Relations team about the listing in Bel Air, but did not immediately receive a response. By Saturday afternoon, the listing had been removed. Ashton texted later that afternoon that a family member had moved in. Elias asked to interview the family members and property owner, but Ashton declined. California has laws against post-disaster price gouging. Governor Newsom has declared a state of emergency in connection with the Palisades fire, which has already destroyed an estimated 5,000 structures in upscale neighborhoods near LA coastline. The governor's emergency declaration includes ban on price gouging, which is defined as a price increase of more than 10% compared to the pre-disaster prices. California Attorney General Rob Bonta told Elias partner KCAL News earlier this week that the ban on price gouging applies to housing as well as other essential goods like foods, transportation, and medical supplies. Bonta said residents should report suspected price gouging through his office's website. If prices look really out of whack, if they look like they've increased from what you're used to, report it to us. We'll take it from there. We'll evaluate it. We'll hold folks accountable and enforce if necessary. Rental listing price histories show post-fire spikes. Journalists for other outlets have reported on listings where asking rents have jumped in the wake of the fires. The New York Times reviewed Zillow listings on LA's west side and found asking rents rising between 15 and 64 since Tuesday. One agent reportedly lowered the asking rent on the property in Encino from $11,500 per month to $9,800 per month after the journalist with the Los Angeles Times asked why the asking rent had risen nearly 28% in recent days. LA urban planning and public policy professor Michael Lenz said he expects LA rents, already considered unaffordable for many families, to be driven up by the immediate influx of people all looking for scarce housing at the same time. It will put a squeeze, especially on the adjacent communities that might be particularly acute from the Palisades effect on the west side. Details of the Bel Air listing located on the Casino Road. The 4-bedroom home that was listed on Zillow for $29 was described online as a fully furnished, meticulously restored mid-century modern home. That listed described the home as perched in a serene canyon setting with breathtaking views in the surrounding landscape, including iconic Getty Museum. The home is currently located in an evacuation warning zone due to the ongoing spread of the Palisades fire. Oh man, so you're gonna be caught right back in it. Ashton told Elias the home was not being shown in person due to those warnings. We decided we're not going to be doing any showing until next week. She said the owner had taken it off the market a few months ago, but later decided to list it again. When the whole situation happened, I told her, people are desperate and you can probably get good money. She has a second home. She has moved into her second home, and this house is for lease. This is heavy, y'all. People are desperate. I can't escape that right now. Like it's really that real. After Ashton disconnected the call, Elias texted her to ask her if she was familiar with California's disaster-related price gouging laws. She texted back saying, "Sorry, cannot talk right now." Then mentioned another listing in Mar Vista where she said one person offered $10,000 above the $15,000 asking rent. Then she ended her text saying, "Supply and demand." Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Supply and demand. Supply and demand. It's going to be that bad. You're gonna see one bedrooms go for $50,000. You're gonna see people it's gonna be stacked up. But yeah, I want to give y'all that really stark contrast that people don't have it like they thought they had it. And then people that do have it, it's going to be getting drained very fast, you know. It's definitely, hold on one second.
Of $100 billion. Well, looking ahead to 2025, natural disasters are not the only risk top of mind for insurers. AXA CEO Vince Tizio joins us now with a closer look at the risk landscape. Vince, I want to just start broadly. What are the key risks that you're hearing from clients right now that they're most concerned about going into 2025?
Sure, Josh. Good to be with you and Julie. So I think there's three major risks that we're evaluating and certainly trying to provide as much assurance to our customers globally as possible. The first relates to natural catastrophes' effect on companies' balance sheets, their ability to remain in business. And that can take the form of wildfires, hurricanes, tropical storms, hail, and all the like. So natural catastrophes is one area. The second is an important area called directors and officers liability insurance. You know, think about the people that are really charged with running organizations, both public and private. In this regard, there's a strong amount of data to support the increasing need around this important coverage, including bankruptcy rates, which are up around 8% over the prior year, almost reaching the post-pandemic financial crisis levels. Additionally, severity of so-called security lawsuits at all-time highs. And then finally, this increasing challenge around liability insurance, the liability crisis as it's been regarded and called social inflation, essentially saying that loss costs associated with handling claims for corporate customers is rising at an exponential rate. And the ability for insurers to continue providing coverage is really important.
So let's dig into this a little bit, Vince. It's Julie here. Thanks for being with us. I'm really interested in this sort of climate or weather-related events. Have indeed those been going higher, right? We've seen some in the insurance industry, more on the residential side, abandon certain markets because it was too difficult to insure them. On your end, what are you seeing? Is that an opportunity for you all, or is it sort of a different niche in the market?
Julie, it's really a corporate responsibility. We're a specialist insurance company. One of our core capabilities is delivering property insurance globally. Be reminded, please, that we cover insureds all around the world. And there's different types of losses that are occurring and arising. And within the last 5 years, the loss landscape of catastrophes has been fairly substantial. Increasingly, the complexion of how property damages are occurring is really aligned to the changing weather patterns, whether it be the convective storms that you see routinely in the Midwest, hail, whether it be wildfires that we've seen persistent for many years now, and certainly the most well-known is the hurricanes and the effect of them. And so incredibly important for commercial entities around the world is the safety and security of their goods and services, their plants, their manufacturing capabilities, and of course the welfare of their people. And we stand ready to continue providing that important coverage.
How do you price that coverage if we are seeing an uptick in frequency and severity? And not only how do you price it appropriately so that you are encapsulating the risk, but price it appropriately so that people, not people, so that entities, corporate entities, can still afford it?
Yeah, so there's some special sauce, of course, associated with the pricing, but fundamentally, this is a business. Property insurance is a business that's rated off of examining the properties that we're insuring, the quality of the roofs, the quality of the egress and the exits, the data that supports their historical losses, their geographic proximity, where they're located, how they are constructed. These are a number of the elements that we account for in the calculation of price. But you point to something really important. which is for commercial insurance to have the certainty, the reliability of consistency from the insurance company in their capital deployment and, of course, their pricing. Now, in the last 5 years, property insurance has been quite expensive for commercial insureds, really resulting from the risk landscape, which is forcing insurance companies to charge a commensurate price.
Vince, I want to shift gears a little bit. I was reading that you guys are also offering insurance to help with AI liability. I'm curious sort of how does that work? What kind of company would need to get insured for AI liability? And given the growth of that industry, is that a potential giant growth area for your business?
You know, AI will affect a number of insurance products that commercial consumers purchase, right? It starts with the governance within companies around the use of AI, the privacy protections, and so directors and officers again. Additionally, there's the ability to bring AI into the operating capability of the firm. Many commercial insureds will try to utilize AI in the provision of reducing its exposures to loss. And so we have a number of products, whether it be our cyber product that's responsive, our directors and officers liability product, our property product. A number of our insurance products are responsive to covering the kind of events or claims that might arise in connection with companies utilizing AI.
Well. You have a major storm coming when you group together the different problems that are going on. You've taken people's livelihoods have been affected and been taken away. Their tools, material, the equipment, the whole building. People's houses have been taken away. You know, the things that they've worked so hard for and put their money into and spent their money into and built up their place of peace. And so to have lost both of those to double for your trouble, and throughout history, this country has put so much, given so much credence to the to the insurance industry. And it seems that every single one of them are now falling short, coming up short, have found themselves in a conundrum. Because even when they say they think they can actually attest to speaking to the clients with confidence that, hey, you're paying this amount of money to ensure that you'll be taken care of. And these people are like, are you sure? And they're like, yes, bet. And then when it actually happens, and they're like, hey, am I still covered? They're like, no, we declined you. We denied your claim. And why didn't you tell me? Well, you didn't ask. Unfortunately, we can't help you. So to be able to see people's emotions this much affected, because now they're going to be holding the insurance companies liable in a lot of ways that, people are going to be patient for a very short time. It's not going to last that long because they're caught in the emotion of having to fight to get back something that has no importance, not importance, but it got control over you. You know what I'm saying? To get you to that point, it's like that's not what this is about. But you are seeing that the folks that said they had this all intact are showing up that you're not covered. You're not able to get the water to help, to be able to put out the fires. It was offline, empty when Firestorm exploded. So yeah. Let's go here. A large reservoir in Pacific Palisades that was part of the Los Angeles water supply system was out of commission when the ferocious wildfire destroyed thousands of homes and other structures nearby. Well. Officials said that the Santa Ynez Reservoir had been closed since about February for repairs to its cover, leaving a 117 million gallon water storage complex empty in the heart of the Palisades for nearly a year. Wow, you can't make this stuff up, huh? 9. The revelation comes amid growing questions about why firefighters ran out of water while battling the blaze, which ignited Tuesday during catastrophically high winds. The Times reported early Wednesday that numerous fire hydrants in higher elevation streets of the Palisades went dry, leaving crews struggling with low water pressure as they combated the flames. Newsom on Friday ordered the independent investigation of the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power over the loss of water pressure and the empty Santa Ynez Reservoir, calling it deeply troubling. We need answers to how that happened. We appreciate the governor's letter and believe that an investigation will help identify any new needed capabilities for water systems to support fighting wildfires. Officials have said that the demand for water during an unprecedented fire made it impossible to maintain any pressure to hydrants at high level elevations. Had the reservoir been operable, water pressure in the Palisades would have lasted longer on Tuesday night. This is interesting. We're living in interesting times. You're seeing this all unfold. And when it starts to unfold, it unfolds. You still have ended up with serious drops in pressure. Would Santa Ynez Reservoir have helped? Yes, to some extent. Would it have saved the day? I don't think so. No, it's not going to save the day. So y'all can keep throwing all of these different things around. They acknowledge that the reservoir absence likely contributed to some diminished pressure and dry hydrants in upper regions. Everything's a reason. Spokesperson for the utility said in a statement DWP was still evaluating an affected reservoir being placed offline and that the staffers were conducting a root cause analysis. Our primary focus is to provide water supply throughout the city. The systems was never designed for a wildfire scenario that we are experiencing. Emptying of the reservoirs began in February after a tear in the floating cover, measuring several feet below debris, bird droppings, and other objects to enter the water supply. DWP drained the site to avoid contamination and comply with water regulations. DWP sought bids for the repair in April at a cost of up to $89,000. In November, the utility signed off on a contract with the Lakeside firm for about $130,000, records show. Now, you know that the people that are in Shalom, beloved brother. Now you know the people that are in any of these, they all could have came together with $5 and would have been able to pay this off. It's like to not know how much the cities are struggling. You cause these massive issues. That like I bring this stuff up because it all is going to start unraveling in so many different ways. Like, where's all this money then? If y'all couldn't afford that, they're going to be coming after Mayor Garcetti. They're going to be coming after Mayor Karen Bass. They're going to be coming after Gavin Newsom and all these different people. Because they're going to look at people, regular people like me who got the common sense, going to look at this like, how couldn't y'all pay that off? What's going on here? At least one person in one of those houses, Ben Affleck, could have paid this off. So now it's just like, now details about a lot of everything is coming out. The status of the repairs are unclear. Employee union leader condemned the months long. You're just starting to see people's laziness. You see the slothfulness. Condemned months longer wait to restore the reservoir is completely unacceptable. Yep. That this reservoir was empty for almost a year for minor repairs. It's unacceptable. Yep. Now, if you'd had brothers and sisters working, that wouldn't have been no problem. It wouldn't have been unacceptable. The math ain't mathing. It ain't making no damn sense how y'all got that problem going on and ain't nobody covering it. Ain't all the local council meetings y'all be having, and ain't nobody got no answers. So it's really looking uncomfortable for a lot of people right now. It's really looking uncomfortable for a lot of people. A lot of these people are going to be looking really embarrassed on so many different levels everywhere across the whole country, because they'll be shown that who wasn't doing their job. This is literally going to be showing like, okay, wasn't nobody doing their damn job. This work should have been done in-house, and they shouldn't have depended on a contractor to do it. I truly believe it's something that could have been avoided. Oh yeah, it could have been avoided. Definitely could have. Did y'all choose to? Did y'all try to? No, y'all still was slacking off and laying high on the hog. Whenever the reservoir would have had a meaningful effect on fighting a blaze of such an intensity remains unclear, of course. No. Researchers said urban water systems but this is what y'all did and what y'all created and what y'all designed were never included in any of these processes anyway. So it's just like, hey, who's to say that, all that stuff that y'all have created has, it just burns up or flammable. Just how does everything just gone? You know what I'm saying? There's not a trace of nothing. No. What is that? No marble or nothing. Just gone. Whether the reservoir would have been a meaningful fight of the blaze, no. Let me go. Water pressure in the upper Palisades is sustained with three storage tanks, which hold 1 million gallons each. The tanks, part of a network of more than 100 across the city, are located successively higher elevations in the coastal hilly neighborhood, with water pumped up to the tanks, then flowing down by gravity to maintain pressure. By 3 a.m. Wednesday, all 3 tanks had gone dry. So it had gone dry just like that. It was just gone, just like that. So yeah, the tanks could not be refilled fast enough, and that demand at lower elevations hampered the ability to pump the water to tanks at higher elevations. Crews attempting to reroute water to refill the tank had to be evacuated. Kionis said 4 times the usual demand for water of the trunk line over the 15-hour period led to a drop in water pressure. Okay. Had the reservoir been used in use in that period, Adam estimated. Let's see. Oh, if it had been this, it would have been that. Okay. Yeah, that demand might have been. See, nobody want to take responsibility. Demand might have been there, just 3 times as high. Water in the reservoir would have fed the firefighting equipment and helped the pumping stations push water to the storage tanks, but the reservoir wouldn't have lasted forever and would not have been a fix-all. Eventually, you would have gotten to the same place. He cautions that he was basing his assertion on a rough estimate and that he had not calculated a specific impact. The National Weather Service had warned of life-threatening winds before the fire broke out at a time of year when rainfall has normally made the hills less likely to catch fire. And the DW options were limited. He noted that fire risk is not included to the Palisades, but is present across LA County. The DWP held water in the reservoir with ripped covers. An ill-advised move for several reasons. The water would have been legally undrinkable except for in emergencies. See, now it's like, okay, what kind of sense do you want to make it be? If it's not going to be drinkable water, then it should have been, you know what I'm saying? Like, see, now you're creating too many scenarios to trap you're asking too many questions that are leading you guys over a cliff right now. Regardless of how much the answer is going to take you into that direction. So it's this. Ooh. This is a doozy. It's an interesting one. Could have seen before to the area's drinking supply. That's understandable. So it's like us. So Adam agreed that it is unlikely the water would have been added fast enough to be useful. See? And not having your stuff prepared, it is what it is. So they would have been betting that there would be a fire that wipes out the whole neighborhood, which of course no one has ever seen before. It would have been a strange bet. The reservoir is one of the several operated by DWP across the city, which have a combined capacity of more than 4.1 billion gallons of water, including the aqueduct reservoirs. The city can store more than 91 billion gallons across the vast infrastructure. The complex at 117 gallons is almost several sources of water in the area, including a large pipeline from Stone Canyon and a smaller site, the nearby Palisades Reservoir. The utility designs the system with the redundancies and multiple sources of water. In the statement, the agency said that none of its infrastructural assets failed today and early Wednesday, but that the intensity of the fire disrupted the contingencies in place. Adams said that if the reservoir had been in normal use with a fully repaired cover, the water level would likely have been well below maximum capacity. In the winter, water levels are kept purposely lower because of a seasonal decline in water use by residents. If water remains stagnant in the reservoir, there is a risk of chloramine, the chemical used as a disinfectant, will break down and chlorine will evaporate, leaving behind ammonia that could foster bacterial growth in the water supply. You would not have had a whole pile of water just sitting there. That's the battle in water storage. You got to keep your tanks and reservoirs fluctuating. Various residents have pointed to the lack of water pressure as one factor contributing to the destruction of 5,300 homes and buildings in LA, Santa Monica, and Malibu. Civic leaders in LA City Council member Tracy Park and developer Rick Caruso have pointed to the issues as a sign of poor infrastructure upkeep. Corona, the DWP union chief, welcomed the probe called for by the governor. I am glad the governor is stepping in and looking into this, why this happened, and holding people accountable. We will definitely see. We will definitely see. Because the interesting thing about all of this is that it's coming out. Everything is coming out. There's no holding back. This is the year where all of the chips are going to be getting put on the table. The rent is going to be extremely high. We're going to see some magical things happening in this city. And it's the wolf moon. It's like, where's all your billionaires? Like, honestly, you would think that these people would be here to help America, help to the rescue. But you don't see none of them nowhere. You don't see none of them nowhere. These dudes are trying to go to Mars and go off in rockets and stuff. You got plenty of people that are who could really change things, and people, lo and behold, they choose and make those choices not to. People make them choices not to. They're over everywhere else. They're over everywhere else. You got plenty of people. Everybody got lullabied to sleep. Wow, you got plenty of people who could do something about it and have been shaking and baking under all of y'all boots and causing all of the madness that you see now. You got people who have lost everything. And ain't none of these folks gonna be around. They're not around. Ain't gonna be supporting their businesses and all of that, yeah. You got people who done said some undermining things. These folks is one of them. There are a couple of them. But that don't matter to the people that are on the ground right now. They like shit. They gotta really figure out their life right now. They like, I'm still employed. I still gotta go to work. That mortgage is still on auto pay. Like, just because that happened, shit don't stop. And that's what every one of them are seeing at this present moment right now. And people got to go back to work. It's going to be an interesting time. It's an interesting time. You're seeing everybody celebrating. It's the Jubilee. You know, it's all good time. It's the year of the snake. It's the year of the Jubilee. I don't think people feel so jovial and gleeful right about now. I highly doubt that right about now. People are feeling some type of way, truly are. Because they lost everything. You got people, things that meant a lot to people. Like this stuff that's just like this stuff that's just never gonna be. It's never gonna be the same, y'all. That's what I'm trying to showcase to you. This is not going to be the same. There's a lot of historical things. Historical treasures lost. LA Conservancy shares a list of confirmed losses. Let's see. Do they got the list? No. Fires, where is it? I don't see no pictures. Nope. These buildings are among 1,000 that have been on fire because they compiled a list of storage structures that fell on social media when asked. We're asking the public to help us confirm additional losses. Visit the confirmed losses post, which includes images of Pasadena Waldorf School, the Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center, the Colada Thai Beach Cuisine, and the Pearson Playhouse. I remember that. Okay. Shalom, beloveds. Truly going in. It is going in. A lot of these buildings, the ish buildings, and got taken out. That whole region just is it got black, but it got a lot of ish. Got a whole lot of ish. So, wait, what is this? This is not the page I was at. Oh yeah, it's talking about there's a massive rabbit. There's a massive rabbit infestation, not only in America but also in Australia, like badly. And it's crazy, like the amplification of the animals. It's like you're seeing species like rise, come back to life, type of thing. But you're not only with the rabbits, what eats rabbits? The snake. And so the snake has been popping up now a lot more. And this is the year of the snake. And so this is a sign to me that is like, oh, I ain't even showing it. So it says right here, Australia's appoints first rabbit czar to combat invasive species. It ain't, can't see it, but that's just one part of it. I just want to kind of let that be the precursor to it, because it is going to make sense in a little bit, but it's going to make a lot of sense because this is the year of the rat. I mean, it's the year of the snake. There's another one. Endangered rabbit species is on the rise in parts of Maine. We don't live in Maine. You see what I'm saying? This stuff is cracking off in so many different areas. The little cute furry thing. How long do rabbits live? That's a good question. I don't know. domestic rabbits can live 8 to 12 years. The oldest recorded domestic, 18 years and 10 months. Wild rabbits have an average lifespan of 1 to 2 years. So how many babies are they having within that to even get to that point? Their lifespans are shorter due to environmental impacts such as predators, food access, and a lack of safe conditions. Yes. There's 52 unique breeds of rabbits. Smaller rabbit breeds tend to live longer than their larger relatives, according. Okay. Unspayed females are also at a higher risk of developing uterine cancer that can lead to a shorter lifespan. Other factors that contribute include breed genetics. Okay. What is the stages of a rabbit cycle? There are 3 stages of a rabbit cycle. Juvenile, adult, senior. Rabbits are considered juvenile until 12 months of age. When they're mature to be adults, adults last until 5 years age. When rabbits are older than 5, they're considered senior. Just curious. Okay. That is very interesting. And I bring that up is because just as much as how many they are popping up right now, you're seeing the heightened activity of snakes everywhere. And he's one of them. He's one of them. He is one of them. He is one of them. He's definitely bringing that stuff. So it's the wolf moon, y'all. The wolf moon is tomorrow. First moon of the year. It's the first moon of the year. What wolf moon in Cancer means for zodiac sign. So next full moon is February 12th, and it'll be in Leo. All right. So that is, you seeing we are getting activity. There's just a little bit of activity. Just going through all the articles I had popped up real quick. Yeah, people are defeated. People are defeated. It's like, what do you do? What do you do in that circumstance? Just as much as it's rabbits, you got all type of new plant life getting back up there. The morel mushrooms, yep, popping up in Virginia, doing their thug thizzle out there, you know. So Africa and Asia is splitting. I've been talking about that. It is really just splitting down. Splitting down. An East African rift. It's been, what, 111 earthquakes there in that region, right on the Horn of Africa. So, yes, that is happening. You're seeing Asia split right there where the Himalayan mountains are. There's been activity there as well. We're going to get to that too. These fools are so ready to get off of Earth. Their little pop rockets and shit, just trying to really leave Earth. Look, so much that they, world's first wooden satellite deploys from ISS to demonstrate cleaner space tech. You got to be freaking kidding me. They'd do anything to just try to, an experimental satellite made of wood. Yes. This is for real, y'all. This the year that they are going all out. They put all their chips into a wooden box. They might as well just hop into the wooden box with it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You guys are doing the most. And it ain't working. It ain't working. Rockets is falling. It ain't working. Whew. It's just so much going on, y'all. I ain't even, it's just the appetizers. Just kind of tied it in because where's all the people that really could do something? You don't hear nothing from all these people that could be really doing something. There's a lot of people they realize that they're like, whoa, that's what that looks like. Man, that's crazy. That's going to take years to get all that stuff back right. Them flames burnt that concrete, made it unstable. Now the earthquake, a mudslide, boom, knock out the infrastructure. You'd have made all the hillsides weak. The vegetation is charred and burnt up too. It's able to grow back, but that's going to take its time as well. You got beams that are bent. It's a lot of this stuff you can't go back to. It's off limits. It's structurally not sound. Why would you want to put yourself back in that situation? And people they're never going back. You got people who are going to never go back. You got people who are going to fight to try to get an insurance policy. Realize they got denied. Damn near everybody got denied. And they're going to find out. They're going to find out the real hard way. All these people stole all their money. Gone. And you're going to have people on standby that's going to sit around and hope to get a claim. And it's just going to be that bad. It's not just bad in America, y'all. It's not just bad in America. Just like China splitting, China and Japan and Russia, they're offering money for female students because their birth rate is down. It's declining. It ain't safe nowhere. It ain't safe nowhere. And many of these people gonna need a hug. There's a lot of people that's gonna need a hug and they ain't got no hugs. So you have a lot of lost and lonely and beat up people. This thing is gonna take a toll on a lot of people. Because they're finally ultimately realizing how much this has affected their lives. Like look at this map. It's still there. It's just chilling. It's just chilling. You still got the zones. That's Eaton. That's Pasadena. All that's still gone. It is just one thing after another. But oh yeah, they're gonna find out. They're gonna find out more. It ain't done. All them people that smiled in your face, laughing all behind your back, all those, all those little feelings that they was giving you and stuff like that. Let's see how much all of that is gonna play a part in the comeback, the ultimate comeback. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see people really coming out of woodwork. You got people really being opportunists right now too. All that excessive flattery, you know. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of excessive flattery. They're gonna be nowhere to find. They're gonna be nowhere to be found in tough times. They're gonna be nowhere to find. You ain't gonna be able to answer no phones and nothing like that. You're gonna play the part. You're gonna play the part of staying strong, but it's gonna come. You're gonna avoid eye contact. Story's gonna change. It's gonna feel real uncomfortable having conversations. Yeah. You're gonna see a lot of envy come out because a lot of people ain't sharing your success. They ain't gonna celebrate your success. But they wasn't. Maybe because you wasn't helping celebrating theirs. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot of feelings come out, a lot of emotions. They're gonna start sharing all your secrets. You burnt all the blackmail up. Yep. So unity right now, but the division is gonna come in real soon. The division is gonna come in real soon. Because it's gonna be survivor's remorse, survivor's guilt. Everybody gonna be real friendly. They're gonna be sweet talking. People gonna be all in your face sweet talking. We're gonna see how consistent they're gonna be. But they're gonna be inconsistent real quick. Everybody in your business, because this is now your business. Every one of you guys are scarred by this, so everybody's gonna be in your business. All your secrets gonna be in and out. It's gonna be hard to communicate. It's gonna be hard to communicate about this. It's gonna change a lot of conversations as far as how people talk now. It's gonna change the pettiness and the sneaky and diabolicalness gonna start flowing. The fake empathy. You're gonna start seeing that insecurity. You're gonna start seeing and how they're gonna struggle with their authenticity, and you're gonna see it. It's gonna be a lot of infighting, a lot of drama. You're not gonna know who's there, who's not. So I just had to bring that little article up. It's a lot more info. But let's kick on into it. Let's see how this weather looking. That was looking like a mermaid to me. Ooh-wee. It's a lot going on, y'all. It's not just California. It's just not California. It is just not California. Wait, you guys haven't been able to hear that the whole time? Oh, wow. That was a lot of information. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. So obviously it's just a bunch of activity going on. Yeah, he just ran through everything. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm not even gonna go skip back to it. But yeah. Dang, my apologies, y'all. I didn't know. You can hear me now? Good. Um, wow, that's crazy. That just happened today, y'all. Yeah, I brought it up in the chat on Big Levi channel, and now I'm getting a chance to speak on it right now because this is everywhere, and it's interesting because me and sister Renata was talking about that area being where there's a large amount of energy. Just it's like it's like a water droplet dripping down the back of your spine, And wait, you can't hear me right now? Can you hear me right now? Because I haven't played the video yet. Something. What's going on? Really? Okay. Yeah, you can hear me talking, but I haven't played the video yet because I was just elaborating on what that video was just right now for the weather. So with everything coming into planetary alignment right now, it's like it's right on schedule right now. Everything's just right on time. And specifically with what being a sister was talking about, it is showing in that same area that there's that ley line. Now I don't know what is in that area particularly, or if that is the exact location where Brother Big Judah went to when he went into with his travels to, I believe, activate a ley line in this area, I think. So I'm not for sure if that is the actual location, but that is definitely a point of interest when it comes to that ley line connection. And so this is more info on the earthquake. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. Oh. Ooh wee. You don't hear sound of the video? Serious? Oh my god. Why is that? That's so the whole time. This whole time it ain't had no audio. You ain't heard no audio. You can hear me, but you don't hear the video. Is that what? Mm-mm-mm. I don't see how that is. All right. So that whole time had no audio. Wow. Seriously, no audio? That's crazy. All right. You can hear the audio. Were you able to hear the audio? You can hear me, but and the audio is all the way up. I can hear it in my headphones.
A powerful earthquake struck Michoacan, Mexico on Sunday, January 12th, 2025 at 1:50 a.m. local time. The quake, measuring 6.4 on the Richter scale, originated at a depth of approximately 24.1 kilometers. The tremor's epicenter was located near the coast of Michoacan, causing strong shaking in several regions. earthquake was felt strongly in various parts of Michoacán, including the cities of Lázaro Cárdenas, Aquila, and Coalcomán. Tremors were also reported in neighboring states such as Guerrero and Colima. The shaking, though brief, was intense, causing panic among residents. The earthquake caused moderate shaking for approximately 85,000 residents in and around the epicenter. Additionally, light tremors were felt by over 5 million people in neighboring areas, including parts of Colima, Jalisco, and Guerrero. While no major injuries or casualties have been reported, the earthquake caused some structural damage in affected areas. Buildings sustained minor cracks, and some debris fell from structures. Power outages were reported in certain areas due to the earthquake. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Yes, y'all. This was in Mexico. This was the one that I had brought up. I had felt something last night, and I was like, huh? And I came downstairs, and all the hats on the back of my wall had all fell down. You know what I'm saying? So that's what prompted me to like sit and meditate on that. Like, man, I don't know why I've been having like these earthquake senses or visions or dreams. I don't know, but just feeling strong in a lot of different levels. But this was for it to happen. It's like, dang, it's prophetic. It's prophetic. Yes, they are. Definitely are. The year of the lucky snake. It's interesting. Them sevens keep popping up. Yes, it's the year of the lucky snake. Something's been going on. We're starting to see this. It's smelling real. It's smelling real loud. You know. It's yeah. It is going down everywhere, y'all. It's just no joke. It is really no joke. Sister brought it up, and I had to look it up, and I was like, wow. This is China. 7.1 magnitude earthquake kills 126 in China. That's 9. Wow. On 11/11.
After the 7.1 magnitude earthquake, more than 1,000 aftershocks have occurred in Tibet, causing more than 400 casualties. A 7.1 magnitude earthquake occurred in Dingri County, Shigatse City, Tibet on January 7th, with the government reporting 126 deaths and 337 injuries. As of 12 o'clock on January 9th, 1161 aftershocks had occurred, and experts said that a 6 to 7 magnitude earthquake could occur in the area in the near future.
Oh my goodness.
After the catastrophic earthquake, Chinese Communist Party officials prevented volunteers from going to the disaster area for rescue and relief. The public's actual casualty figures were strongly questioned, and the government tightly controlled the words and actions of the victims. So far, according to the government, this earthquake in Tibet has injured or killed more than 400 people.
Yes.
According to mainland media such as CCTV and Jimu News. On January 9th, the press conference of the Tibetan government reported that the magnitude 7.1 earthquake in Dingri County, Shigatse City, Tibet was large and violent. As of 6 a.m. on January 9th, the earthquake had killed 126 people and affected 61,500 people. As of 9 a.m. on January 9th, a total of 337 injured people had been treated, and 246 people had been discharged from the hospital after treatment. Currently, 91 people are being treated in the hospital, including 72 people with mild symptoms and 19 people with severe symptoms. According to the monitoring of the China Seismological Network Center, as of 12 o'clock on January 9th, a total of 1161 aftershocks were recorded after the 7.1 magnitude earthquake, including 33 aftershocks of magnitude 3 or higher, 4 earthquakes of magnitude 4 to 4.9, and 29 earthquakes of magnitude 3.9. There were 1128 aftershocks below magnitude 3, 274 earthquakes of magnitude 2 to 2.9, and 854 earthquakes below magnitude 2. The largest aftershock was magnitude 5.4, about 18 kilometers away from the main earthquake. The Tibetan government reported at a press conference that statistics on the earthquake series in the surrounding areas since 1950 show that there have been 7 earthquakes with a magnitude of 6 or above, within 200 kilometers of the 7.1 magnitude earthquake in Dingri County, all of which were major or minor. According to separate reports, a comprehensive analysis of the regional structure, historical seismic activity, types of earthquake sequences and other characteristics of the area surrounding the earthquake shows that there is a possibility of a magnitude 6 to 7 earthquake occurring in the area in the near future. According to news circulating on the internet, local residents said that the Communist Party of China has dispatched a large number of armed police to maintain stability, and rescue work has only been carried out in small batches. The affected people are in urgent need of help, but there is no response. According to the video, there were collapsed and ruined houses everywhere, and many residential buildings were damaged. A man shouted in despair, "What is the cause of this? Is it all an earthquake? It's all over. What should we do?" According to local residents, the Chinese government has prevented private rescue teams and volunteers from going to the disaster area to rescue. On January 9, Tibetan Sakar Tashi tweeted on his Twitter about the disaster relief activities to support fellow countrymen in Tingri, which may have touched the sensitivities of the Chinese Communist Party, and the Tibetan people's disaster relief actions have made them unhappy.
Wow, oh my God. Wow.
Sagar Tashi said that the Chinese government may use the excuse of too cold weather, lack of oxygen and long distance to prevent Tibetan volunteers from going to the disaster area to deliver supplies directly. Deputy Secretary of the Party Committee of the Tibet Emergency Management Bureau, Director Hong Li, said that civil rescue teams and other social organizations, volunteers in the non-disaster area have not been approved at this stage. So please do not go to the disaster area. The disaster situation and casualties in Tibet due to the earthquake have been strongly questioned by the people of this country. The information and number of victims have been strictly controlled. Voice of America reported that as of January 8, Chinese authorities announced that the death toll from the earthquake in Tingri County, Tibet has been fixed at 126 people. Authorities have not announced how many people are missing. Dawa Sering, director of the Tibet Policy Research Center of the Central Tibetan Administration, expressed strong doubts about the official casualty figures. He said that according to the information he had, the words and actions of the victims after the earthquake were strictly controlled by the authorities. It is certain that the Chinese government will not report it fully. But I do not know exactly how many. The dead will not be reported if possible, and the missing may not be reported. This may be the Chinese government's policy, or it may be that local officials themselves do not want to report more because they are afraid it will affect them. According to information sent from Nepal, the Chinese government is tightening control over local Tibetans, preventing them from taking photos and transmitting information about the disaster area. If they transmit information without permission, they will be punished. Otherwise, they will not be provided with preferential information in the future reconstruction process. Therefore, local victims are reluctant to send information outside. Mr. Dawud Khairan said that the earthquake area is probably the coldest time now. Many tents are used by rescue workers, the military, hospitals or some of their organizations, and not many tents are allocated to ordinary people. The houses that most residents in Tibet live in are very traditional mud houses. Some are randomly built with stones, and some are built with earth blocks or rammed earth. The cost of steel and concrete is huge, only for government agencies. Mr. Dawud Khairan also said that the houses made in Tibet today are very easy to collapse if an earthquake occurs. Except for those in towns or salaried families. 99% of the houses of ordinary farmers and herders are built with no real earthquake resistance. The Chinese government has been promoting nomadic settlement projects for the past 20 years due to urbanization considerations. Meanwhile, Taiwanese scholar Zheng Jianyuan told Voice of America that it is not possible to rule out the possibility that this severe earthquake disaster is related to the giant dams in the Tibet region that the Chinese government is building.
it's just every building is just collapsed. It's just all gone. Like all these locations, none of the infrastructure anywhere is holding up. Wow, that's a crazy shot. Like each city is looking apocalyptic. Yeah. It's just every one of these locations is looking so apocalyptic right now.
On the evening of January 10th, 2025,
The bird is outta here.
Linfen City in Shaanxi province was struck by an earthquake. The tremor, which originated in the Yaodu district of Linfen, occurred at exactly 8:31 p.m., sending strong vibrations through the area and nearby regions.
哎呦，哎呦我的天哪，世界末日了！给这哥们儿来。你真知道。
Initial reports from local authorities, based on a mobile alert, estimated the earthquake's magnitude at 4.4. However, later revisions by the China Earthquake Network Center downgraded the magnitude to 4.1. As the earthquake struck, buildings in Linfen shook violently, causing a momentary sense of chaos. In residential areas, furniture such as beds and televisions rattled repeatedly, while items on shelves fell to the ground.
全是乌鸦！啊！哎，我这边也是。全乌鸦！哎呦我去！真是啊！
Videos circulating on social media captured the aftermath, showing worried residents pouring out of their homes and gathering in open areas to avoid the risk of structural collapse. A local resident shared that he was attending a class on the third floor when he suddenly felt a slight tremor in his legs. Moments later, someone's phone alarm sounded, followed by noises from the roof, as if something was being moved. Some students mentioned that it was their first time experiencing such a strong tremor.
It's cold outside too. That sounds like a lot of panic.
Despite the moderate magnitude of the earthquake, its shallow depth of 20 kilometers amplified the shaking, making it more intense and alarming. The earthquake's effects were not confined to Linfen alone. Residents in nearby cities, including Yulin and Yan'an in Shaanxi province, reported feeling noticeable tremors, with some describing it as a wave-like motion that caused lights and hanging objects to sway.
Ooh. Ooh. What are y'all doing? What this? Well, they believe it now. You believe it now. Do you believe it now?
While there were no reports of significant casualties or major structural damage, the psychological impact on residents was evident, as many shared their fears and experiences online. This earthquake in Linfen follows a series of recent seismic events across China, raising concerns about increased geological activity in the region.
Man.
Just days earlier, on January 7th, a powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake struck Tibet, causing severe damage and prompting widespread evacuations. On January 8th, another tremor shook Qinghai province, further contributing to public anxiety about the potential for larger and more destructive earthquakes.
Bing bang. Yes, they are. 2, 1.
Experts have noted that while the recent quake in Linfen was moderate in scale, its shallow depth and proximity to populated areas heightened its impact.
Oh, that was hilarious. And the slippers. It's an,
Shaanxi province lies in a seismically active zone, and earthquakes of varying magnitudes are not uncommon. However, the recent frequency of seismic events in western and northern China has sparked renewed discussions about disaster preparedness and the need for accurate and timely reporting of seismic activity. In the wake of the Linfen earthquake, local authorities have been quick to respond. Emergency services have been placed on high alert, and teams have been dispatched to assess potential damage to infrastructure, including roads, buildings, and power lines. Although no major casualties or damage have been reported as of now, officials are urging residents to remain vigilant and be prepared for aftershocks, which could pose additional risk. As Linfen and its neighboring regions recover from this latest event, the emphasis on preparedness and community resilience continues to grow. The earthquake serves as a stark reminder of the unpredictable power of nature and the importance of remaining vigilant in the face of potential disasters.
地震了，谢谢刚才地震了，躺在床上，床都晃呢，没有地方去，满大街溜达，街上也是人，基本上有车的都出动了，都在街上。小区里的车瞬间都全出门了，院子里的车位都空了。
That's very, very interesting, and it is rocking and rolling everywhere right now. That's heavy, y'all. That ain't no joke. Yeah. You better believe the Most High is in the midst and doing his stuck thizzle. You better believe it. It's looking real scrumptiddly-umptious. We're gonna keep those. We're gonna keep those on deck, because my. I mean, what can you say when it's everywhere around the whole world? Matter of fact, we can go ahead and start looking at that now, because that is matter of fact, there's so many things I ain't even touch on over here. I had 2 whole hours 2.5 so far, knocking this out, just trying to paint this picture of that all of these things happening, and there's no backups, there's no help, there's no reserves, there's limited resources, there's messed up things that they just completely messed up. So much happening, they will need us soon. Yes, they're going to see that. Why is nothing happening to these black folks? They're going to be really looking like, they're going to be seeing that their infrastructure is all beat up and it's going to need some rebuilding. You're going to need extra hands to get this up and going. And it's so interesting because you don't see not one of our faces. You don't see not one of our faces in the midst of all of this. You see the Blassels. Yeah, it is what it is. You know, got people that people down that I know that are going out there trying to save the day. You know, being Captain Saver, and it's like, dude, you're literally forking over your energy to be, trying to be like to hop in the way of somebody else's cold potatoes, literally. So the fact that people are still going above and beyond, out of their way to have selective outrage and be opportunists and jump to all of these events that are going on. You got people who are going over here, and then something happens to home for them back here. They got to roll back, and they ain't got no help. And then they went over here to help, and they ain't no help coming this way. It's like there's stickies, There's stickums, situations of stickness. They will confess we are them people. They will have to, because, the jobs are trying to be, they trying to push the envelopes. They still trying to enforce this supremacist system, and it's falling through their hands. It's not just one person that is affected. It is everybody who they went to high school, middle school, college. It's literally all of the people that they know, communities of people that they know all over the place, that are now affected in the way that they are right now. And it is what it is. People are handcuffed down to this curse right now. Literally handcuffed down to this curse. There's no getting around that. And you're seeing that you ain't got no help. That's the crazy part. You're going to be coming to us for the help. You're going to be coming to us and needing us to be able to come and assist. You're doing it now. You need our sperm to come and activate your women because of a lot of sterility out there. And that ain't our fault. That wasn't our, so it's like, to see that it's becoming that, it's like, damn, we used to really get treated like shit by a lot of people, And like you said, people that are in these circumstances, like, oh, well, look who comes swimming over the big old deep blue ocean to cross that bridge again. That ain't there no more because it got destroyed. Look at all the chickens coming home to roost. This is decimating some, and that's two different locations. That's two different locations. That one is in Tibet and the other one's in the other part of China. And then you got Mexico. And that's on, it's going down. You're starting to see that it is needing to be seen. And all of the signs, that's why I kept that video, because it was just like number after number after number after number. I was like, really? Like, if this ain't no sign, I mean, all the numbers, literally every number that you can think of was literally popping up. 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 12, 10. It's like, it was just, we're actually ahead of their time. Yes, we are. Our moves and music had prepared us. Earth, wind, and fire. Yes, it truly has. We have come a long way. We have gone through a lot to be able to be where we're at now, to be much more peaceful, to be much more calm, because it was needed. It was needed for us. And I'm glad that I was able to go through what I was able to go through and come out on the other side. So we all are. And now, yeah, this is the time where you have to buckle down now, and it's time to keep up with everything. And I think that's why I'm even doing this now, because it's like there's so much information now that is out here that if you're not in the know, then you're going to end up slow and not in the know, and that's not the way to go moving forward. We must know everything that's going on, every detail. That's how I feel, and it feels better than filling myself up with information that is not fruitful. It's not nutritional. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is much more nutritional to me, even if it may seem like it's, I don't know. It's not. It's not fluff information. It's not distractive to where I'm not aware of what's going on. This helps people to get aware, which is a good thing, because who would have known that the fire hydrants was dry? Who wouldn't have known that? You got people who just went through they just went through a fire in the Pacific Palisades, and they're saying they got to go. Now they got to move back home to Mexico. Newsflash: there's an earthquake in Mexico as well. So this is just a horrible game of holy musical chairs now. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate that. Yes. And fear is real. Fear keep you under the bed, and it keep you under the sheets. And it keep you just locked in, no soul. And the fact that we're able to break through the cocoons and be the little butterfly, that's what we needed. So I'm trying to pull this one up. It's just now acting gunky on me. I don't know why. I'm already knowing why, but it's not giving me the opportunity to show that there's one family in California. They're billionaires, and they own a large portion of the water that is in the state. And as soon as I get right, I'll be able to showcase it to you. But it's just rocking and rolling everywhere. It is not letting up. Every single state. It's negative 30 degrees above Canada. Not even just in Canada. You got it right in the middle of Montana, all the way down North, South Dakota, the Great Lakes, all of that. All of that. Cuba, Puerto Rico, Chile is going through earthquakes. All these different places going through massive amounts of earthquakes. Ethiopia is splitting apart. The whole majority of Africa right now is literally on fire and burnt. Europe is all flooded and it's frozen. And it's frozen. And they have population issues. Yes. You just seen China. You just seen Tibet. Russia's going through their own thing as well. So we try to keep it level with everybody. Like, hey, we need to be paying attention because these places is just crumbling. And like you said, they're going to need us. They're going to need us. And we must be prepared. We must be equipped with the full armor, with all of the tools that are available to us, and not be shaken and not be stirred. Okay, we finally got it up now. That took a minute. Yes. Let my people go. We see you, Pharaoh. Let my people go.
While 40 million Californians suffer through massive share of the state's seized in a series of secretive meetings 2 decades ago. That system was largely paid for by the very taxpayers whose water these billionaires hold hostage. Urban water systems are desperate for water, but in 2023, they'll receive just 5% of what they requested from the state. The Resnicks are the biggest farmers in California. As of 2007, they owned 4 San Francisco's worth of farmland, and nearly half of Americans buy at least one of their products. Their pistachios, their pomegranate juice, their mandarins, their flowers. It's all under one massive umbrella, the Wonderful Company, a privately owned company worth at least $5 billion. The majority owners, the Resnicks, are worth at least $8 billion. While 40 million Californians suffer through unprecedented drought, one billionaire couple owns a massive share of the state's water system, seized in a series of secretive meetings 2 decades ago. That system was largely paid for by the very taxpayers whose water these billionaires hold hostage. Urban water systems are desperate for water, but in 2023, they'll receive just 5% of what they requested from the state. The Resnicks are the biggest farmers in California. As of 2007, they owned 4 San Francisco's worth of farmland, and nearly half of Americans buy at least one of their products. Their pistachios, their pomegranate juice, their mandarins, their flowers. It's all under one massive umbrella, the Wonderful Company, a privately owned company worth at least $5 billion. The majority owners, the Resnicks, are worth at least $8 billion. How were they able to take over such a large percentage of what should be a shared public resource? This is The Classroom from More Perfect Union, and today we're looking at how the Resnicks got rich. Linda is a former child actress, the daughter of Jack Harris, a successful movie distributor of the 1950s, most well known for The Blob.
Starring Steve McQueen and a cast of exciting young people.
At 19, she founded her own advertising agency. Stewart was born to a middle-class New Jersey family and started his first business, a janitorial service, in grad school. He eventually acquired American Protection Services, a burglar alarm and security company. Linda approached him about marketing services for the company, and they hit it off, not knowing that one day they'd work together to take over California's water. The Lovebirds became business partners. They bought Teleflora, the flower delivery company, and the Franklin Mint, purveyors of inane little tchotchkes. Linda was the marketing person, and Stewart was in charge of business. As Linda told the LA Times in 1993, I've always said that Stuart and I together make one perfect person, like little salt and pepper shakers. In the late 80s, they found their primary industry, agriculture. They got into the pistachio business. Linda said, "We've done more for the pistachio than anyone ever since it was planted in the Garden of Eden. My husband should be canonized for all the work he's done." They started branching into other products, almonds, pomegranates, citrus, wine, and acquiring more and more land to cover it, including some very important land in Kern County, which granted them water rights in the area. As the Resnicks were building their empire, the state of California was building new water infrastructure with taxpayer money. California's natural water supply is very inconsistent. Vastly differing amounts of rainfall means it can go from surplus to drought and back very easily. So they build water banks to store water during surpluses to have during droughts. One important storage facility is the Kern Water Bank, started in 1988. The facility was built with hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars, which could have been a good thing. The people of California would have owned the water. But there were two Californians thirstier than the rest, and they wanted more water. Linda and Stuart Resnick, and they had a lot of political power. We'll get to that. In 1994, state water officials, water infrastructure contractors, and agricultural landowners with water rights arranged a secretive meeting at a resort in Monterey, rewrote California's water rules without any input from voters, taxpayers, or legislators. The new rules, called the Monterey Plus Agreement or the Monterey Amendments, were devastating for working Californians, and great for agriculture billionaires. The original code included urban preference, a long-standing rule that in times of drought, the state water board would give urban areas, where people live, access to water supplies before agricultural interests. Monterey axed that. That means that in times of drought, the water systems for normal Californians would have to buy water from private companies because they weren't getting it from the state. The new agreement also loosened regulations on paper water. That's water that doesn't necessarily exist anywhere but on paper. The full quantities of water that providers could have, but don't actually need to have. Today, 5 times as much water has been promised and sold as actually exists. And importantly, the meeting changed ownership of the Kern Water Bank. What once belonged to the state was transferred to a few private water contractors, one of which was Westside Mutual, a wholly owned subsidiary of Wonderful Foods. The wonderful employee who runs Westside, Bill Phillimore, is the chairman of the public organization that manages the Kern Water Bank. Boom. One secret meeting, and the Resnicks owned nearly 60% of an important California water resource, built with hundreds of millions of dollars in taxpayer money. The new ownership, combined with the rules on paper and surplus water, meant that during times of drought, the Resnicks could sell Kern water back to the state water systems. They took Californian taxpayers' water and sold it back to them, both literally as the water supply and also to grow expensive food like gourmet pistachios and pomegranate juice. They converted the people's water into products many can't afford. And that's just one water bank. The Resnicks also have control of other water boards and have been sued for directing more water towards their properties. So how do they get away with this Chinatown-level chicanery?
Gonna be a lot of irate citizens when they find out that they're paying for water that they're not gonna get.
With philanthropy. The Resnicks donate millions of dollars to politicians and research institutions, which help them secure control over water systems, and even get more water and more taxpayer funding. One important project is the proposed California Delta Tunnel, a taxpayer-funded project which would send water from Northern California to Central, where the Resnicks farms are. They've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on state and federal legislation and politicians who support the tunnel project. But their favorite politician is Senator Dianne Feinstein.
You come in here and you say it has to be my way or the highway.
Chair of the Energy and Water Subcommittee. She's a close personal friend of the Resnicks, attending their holiday parties in Aspen and maintaining their financial interests. A quick look through the bills she sponsored shows several which would direct money to Kern-adjacent water projects. The Resnicks even ask her for things directly. When a pesky study about endangering salmon and shad fisheries threatened the Delta Tunnel, Stewart wrote a letter to Feinstein demanding a new study. She immediately forwarded it to the Obama administration, who agreed to spend $750,000 on a new study. It returned the same results as the first one. Can't buy science. But the Resnicks have tried. They are among the top donors to University of California system, with their donations focusing on agricultural and ecological studies. The Resnicks have basically bought entire departments who put out studies on how water systems should be managed, and where funding should go. That leads to even more federal and state taxpayer dollars being used to fix up what the Resnicks profit off of. This is all bad for California, even in a capitalistic sense. Agriculture uses 80% of California's water, but only represents 2% of its GDP. The Resnicks' water monopoly is just one way their quest for wealth hurts the rest of us. They allegedly lobby for increased tensions with Iran to keep embargoes on superior Iranian pistachios. Their giant crops lead to monocultures which kill pollinators. They siphon taxpayer dollars to the company town charter schools they own, set up to train children to work for their farms. And of course, like any company of this size, they exploit their workers. We need to treat water for what it is. A necessary public resource, a human right, and something that shouldn't be owned by anyone, and work towards legislative change that stops people like the Resnicks from stealing it. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
The more you know. Like, seriously, the more you know. This is just no joke, Dad. Much love. It's the more you know. It starts making sense. It starts putting it together. You start seeing things from a whole different way. This is what they doing, y'all. It is a lot of that going on. And wouldn't have known that. Wouldn't have known that, you know? So we're seeing all of the information come out this year. It's just a matter of like how much you're going to keep up with it at this point. It is just so disrespectful. And now, all of these elite people are not going to like that. All it takes is for one person who don't like that to bring it out. Obviously, I'm one of them that's speaking on it right now, but it's to have a whole monopoly on all the water and to do all of that and to have all of these systems not working and functioning the right way. Sound like a great plot movie. They're talking about the Simpsons predicted. You know, is, let me see. Let's bring that back.
And guess what? They even predicted the Los Angeles fire. But in this episode of Simpsons, they finally predicted what's going to be happening to Los Angeles, where the entire city is going to be burnt, and the only thing that's going to be left out in the entire city is going to be this blue umbrella. They even showed what happens 6 months after this event takes place.
Deadly ray.
You see, it seems like they're using some sort of weapon? It's definitely some sort
Wait, what happened? Oh no. Oh no, what happened to my... They did not want me to see it. I didn't do that. Anyways, we're not going to trip on now. But we all know that they always bringing something up. You can appreciate it. You can always appreciate it. But yeah, you got so much going on. So let me make sure I close these videos. And this is how they feeling right now. This is how the weather's feeling. This is how the animals feeling. Man, it's just so much going on. This is just buck wild. They laughing, but they don't realize that they no longer in a blessing. Your blessing just fought back at you, like viciously. Viciously. Didn't hold back, didn't let up, didn't let go. Come on. Yep. A deer on the beach, yeah. I've never seen that, but yeah. It is unlucky for them. Everything that is just completely unlucky. And make sure I catch everything. Yeah, a bunch of these is all scattered news, but that is what is going on in this world right now. You have so much going on, and I just want to make sure I cover some of these other videos. But yeah, it is on fire. It is on fire. It is shaking. It is quaking.
I know so many people who live in and around the Palisades are people that are working with on the crew here on the film now have lost their homes and families lost homes. It's devastating, and I think catastrophe on so many levels. Yeah, but just kind of seeing it now, and obviously with the time change, I haven't spoken to anybody else. But I have a friend who was working on the film today. Just told him that we'd be praying for his family, and every devastation, losing all your belongings and losing. I thought this was a lucky year. Doesn't look like you're winning. Am I tripping or am I tripping? Is it something? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Just looks like you're losing. I'm about to get the winning. Get the winning. You are seeing the fallout. It is going to be so much. We're going to be putting so much pressure on
a new warning for visitors at Kilauea, where the eruption from earlier this week remains paused tonight. Hawaii Volcanoes National Park says a toddler nearly plunged off a 400-foot cliff after running away from his family yesterday at the Overlook area.
Their kid, 400 years. 400 years. was running away.
Officials say the boy's mother sprinted after him and grabbed him just a foot before he fell. The terrifying scene prompted the park to urge visitors to stay on trails, stay out of closed areas, and keep children close at all times.
Stay out of closed areas, stay out of our area, stay out of everything, stay out and get your kids. You see how y'all been acting up? You need to get yourself together. That's the real talk. That's the real talk. That's literally getting beat up by the blessing. You're getting bit by the snake. You're getting beat up by a deer. You're almost falling over the cliff. Like, yeah, it's not pretty Ricky for you right now. Yeah, you're not flying straight. It's just you got everything falling out of the sky. What is that? Yeah, we can do that one too. We'll just run down all the videos.
In court today, a woman accused of causing her pregnant daughter's death after crashing into Bay Area Hospital nearly 4 years ago.
Gracelyn Stump and her attorney in Judge David Klein's court today, where they filed a motion to postpone the hearing until April. Judge Klein accepted. Stump is charged with manslaughter after police say she drove her daughter, Destiny Cortinas, to deliver her baby under the influence of different drugs.
Although first responders were able to get her out, Cortinas went into cardiac arrest. She died 10 hours later. Her unborn child, though, was saved. Of course, we will continue to follow this case.
Now, I bring this up is because all day, every day, and no matter who it is, many of them are under the influence right now. Really under the influence. No matter what you do, where you go, you know, and they're breaking down. Just breaking down, deteriorating, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is a real thing.
That's it.
No, there's a bunch of reporters, but they're not out here.
I think they're on the other side, but...
No, I told them all over here.
What does that mean on the other side?
Way down there. I'll tell them we're out here right now.
Well, I don't want to stand here for too long.
Can we go back inside?
I do have a cold, so.
Okay, but there's like 15 guys.
I'm going to say the same thing, sir. Okay.
I'm going to say the same thing. They're professionals, and the regular people, the regular public, it just refuses to embrace that part of what politics consists of. And you're going to have people like this that are around him, that are on the phone. They're oh so busy. They're so locked in. They're so focused and dedicated. I'm going to kiss your left ass cheek so deliciously. That's what they do. They will suck up. They will be yes man. They'll do all of this stuff. And when the empires fall apart, that is a trickle down effect. Now this man is getting up in he's getting up in age, and he's actually he's not in the best of health right now, but they're deteriorating right now, whether in their careers, whether in just life period, you know. But I bring this up is because the ones around will still stand around and go down with the Titanic as well. You know what I'm saying? And there's groupings of people, all of these people who have millions, billions of dollars, people, whatever you like. I am your servant. I am your worker. I work for you. Like, whatever the case may be, that's what it's going to turn out to be. Many people are not able to do their jobs properly, not trained, and getting shown that. So I just want to show that because this is showing many of them getting exhausted with having to go through all of these extra processes. Just jacked up. barely made it. Barely making it. This fool look like he's asleep. He look like he's asleep. Get up! Get up!
Jimmy Carter's friendship taught me, and through his life taught me, the strength of character is more than title or the power we hold. It's the strength to understand that everyone should be treated with dignity, respect, that everyone, and I mean everyone, deserves an even shot. Not a guarantee, but just a shot. You know, we have an obligation to give hate no safe harbor. Many think he was from a bygone era, but in reality, he saw well into the future. A white Southern Baptist who led on civil rights, a decorated Navy veteran who brokered peace, a brilliant nuclear engineer who led on nuclear nonproliferation, a hardworking farmer who championed conservation and clean energy. I miss him, but I take solace in knowing that he and his beloved Rosalind are reunited again. Jimmy Carter.
I show you this is because you are seeing the powers to be that are uniting. They are assembling. That's why I even showed you the billionaires that were in the beginning that had the water monopoly. You're seeing billionaires unite and monopolize. You're seeing Elon Musk and Trump. You're seeing full-blown presidents. You see what I'm saying? You got these people who are trying to protect the narratives of their falsified legacies. Falsified narratives. A bunch of BS. And they're getting caught they're getting caught in the open where it's all being seen. It's all being seen. They can't cover up any of these stories anymore, any of these narratives. You could try to put them out as what you want to, label them as. But the truth comes out. The truth is being seen.
A woman's facing charges in connection to an Horry County police investigation that temporarily shut down a road late last night. Warrants say Ashley Williams called 911 alleging her boyfriend was assaulting her at a home on McDowell Shortcut Road. When officers got there, Williams called 911 again, this time saying her boyfriend never hit her and that she only called because she was upset and refused to leave the home. She's now charged with giving false information to law enforcement. A woman's facing.
So you're running into that. Y'all ain't getting away with this no more. Y'all did it with Emmett Till. Y'all not doing it now. You're not getting away with this work no more. And you're seeing full force that none of it is okay. None of it was okay. And you're still gonna try to make it okay, and you're being shown that the full wrath, the full judgment, and you're getting shown that. Now they saying that's a gun. I don't see any gun, y'all. That you can't make that out. Whatever you're looking at right there, there's no making that out. There's no making that out as no weapon right there, y'all. Of course they're gonna be fidgety about it. But when you see it in full blast motion, you can't tell that's something. Why was those bystanders still on a street even after that? This is from the New Orleans. That's from the New Orleans.
Stay below freezing, it is a good reminder of the dangers this weather can present. Last year, unfortunately, a woman died in Knoxville during the winter storm. Our Sam Luther spoke with those who knew her.
And I said, Linda, I want to get to know you better. I want to help you.
Linda Shropshire was coming to Care Cuts almost every day they were open. One day, Marty Baker decided she wanted to help, offering a haircut, shower, new clothes, and a friendship.
And she was like, you would do that for me?
It's a moment that changed the life of a woman who didn't have a place to call home. Baker says after that, she could tell there was a difference.
She wanted to get off the streets. She wanted to do better for herself.
But then the snowstorm came last January. One person froze to death in Knox County. It was Linda.
Linda didn't want to die, you know, and you get out there and they just don't want to go in. And they think they're going to be all right.
Last year, there was only a few warming shelters open. This year, there's at least 5, room for hundreds. But there's also some that still find themselves in the cold.
It's not that they don't want to seek out the help, number one. Number two, they don't like to be around a lot of people. Number three, Linda was a paranoid schizophrenic. So we're dealing.
They always got to have a name for something to identify. They always got to be convincing in their argument about, there just has to be something wrong with you. But even then, it's like, I don't want to be around people. Yeah, it's embarrassing being around somebody and you're in the shelter and you're at your lowest just as much as the people that are in there at their lowest, but you're snubbing your nose up like you are not struggling as much as they are in the shelter. It's like, no. But you got to understand that so many people have been kicked out and they are displaced. People just got their stuff burnt down in California. There's an earthquake in Mexico. There's an earthquake in China. People are getting displaced. Asheville, Milton. How many shelters is there? You know, how many shelters are there? How many resources like that are even out there to even be available for this many people? There's not. It's a false image that's put out there. The amount of people that are actually going through and suffering like on a massive level is tremendous, y'all. It's tremendous. And I'm just bringing this up as the fact that, people are extending to help these people out, but now she's attached to that woman's, burnt, that blessing now, that curse. Just for the simple fact that you didn't touch it, you didn't engage it, you didn't welcome it in. So now you're going to be facing that. You're going to be facing that. It didn't even in those shelters like the video I showed yesterday with the pestilence, with the amount of, disease that's going around right now. The amount of all of that sickness. That's a lot. That's heavy. That's everywhere. People are still on drugs because they're trying to escape their woes. This is a really serious reality for a lot of people. So I'm bringing this up is that, you got people who are trying to be quote unquote good Samaritans, but really you're damaging your own the last little bit of crumbs that you have left. So you just bring double the trouble because now this woman is on your mind. Now you got to sit here and do this whole little elaborate, beautiful, interview, to where it's going to always be reminiscent of something that is going to be within troubling you in your curse. Knowing that, hey, you just looked at yourself in the mirror, lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be too long before you actually happen to be the one that happen to be sitting in that seat needing your hair done.
With mental illness.
Baker hoping that these added resources in the city will make it
seem like, oh, she got mental illness. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just, like, pity.
easier to keep people safe, still reminded of the dangers that this weather can bring.
I just give anything in this world if I had been there. Sometimes you beat yourself up and you think, oh, if you would have went and found her and got her, but God has the plan.
In Knoxville, Sam Luther, WV.
Oh, he got a plan. God sure does have a plan. He gonna take care of everything. He gonna fix it. He gonna fix it, baby. He gonna get you right. He gonna let you know right then and there that you ain't going nowhere, that you're gonna be really taken care of. You ain't going nowhere. You gonna get all of this good old taken care of. Oh, it is going down, y'all. It is going down. It's cold outside. It's not just cold in America. It's cold overseas.
Some parents outraged. It requires them to come to school to change their child's diaper if they're not potty trained. Teachers say there's been a jump in school-aged kids not being able to use the bathroom by themselves since COVID. Apparently, some staff are dealing with kids as old as 8 who are still having accidents.
Child is going to be left in discomfort. Of course they're not, but there needs to be a joint responsibility here, and that's what we're supporting.
Only students with medical needs are exempt from the new diaper policy. In Britain, a new rule has some parents outraged. It requires...
Well, to 8 years old, you're dealing with them COVID shots that messed up all of these kids. All of those folks over there got these kids shot up. They didn't did all of this. And now you're seeing that all of the next generations it's like it's already been locked and loaded into them right now. It's like they don't even know that they just got, jacked up. They have no clue. Busy playing the games and video games and stuff. It's like, yep, y'all got jacked up. It's messed up. So this is how you see in the unity. Yep, that's what you got. You got a room full of people looking to come together and solve these mysteries of what the hell is going on between the sheets in my home. Dude, that's the worst. That's the worst kiss ever. I've never seen black people kiss like that. Even in, like, this is a married couple. Like, I don't know.
God bless her,
Like, it just looked like they were never together. Like she was a mail order bride. It's just for the love of money.
Welcome back in here. In a 14 News update, Indiana State Police say an Orange County deputy is still in critical condition after being shot several times. State Police say Deputy Zach Andry is sedated and on a ventilator in intensive care. Authorities say Andry was shot 4 times, including once in the head by Austin Sheppers last Friday. Louisville Metro police officers shot and killed Sheppers after a standoff on Saturday. State police say doctors and specialists remain optimistic and are pleased with Deputy Andry's fight thus far. We have a link where you can donate to support Andry's recovery and family online right now.
It's literally dangerous for them to be a cop. because now they're dealing with, an adversary of their own that they've been, pacified with, that they have not really put under suspecting terms as much as they have enforced very aggressive tactics on us. And so
That was on the
to
map
see that
of
pendulum
needing
swing,
the world's attention and
yes.
help before Mr. Carter, sort of came there and put an eye globally.
Oh, it's still, see, it's still love in paradise. It's not trouble in paradise. Oh, we gotta come together, baby. We gotta make this all happen together. We just can't think of, we gotta come together. We gotta figure out what's going on. We gotta figure out what's going on with all of this. If my husband kissed me like that in front of the whole world, yeah, just a weird ass kiss, it would have been a delicious kiss. Like you just want a presidency. Like I'm about to get some presidential sex. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to Mr. President, but you got these. She looks like a reptilian now, but it's just the simple fact that just looked weird. But I see that too much. That's why I brought it up, because I'm like, this looked even worse than what I've seen. Like, who kisses like that? Like, if you guys are together, you shouldn't be ashamed of being able to kiss each other like that, unless your breath stank. And it looked like her breath could have been stank because she never opened up her mouth. She don't really say too much, so ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. So yeah. But the kiss like that, and then y'all not being like synchronization. Like, what is the etiquette for that move? What's the etiquette? Does the man go to the left side first or to the right side? So, it's like,
Gate shooting in D.C. is dead. Police in North Carolina shot and killed Edgar Welch during a traffic stop over the weekend. So back in 2016, Welch entered Comet Ping Pong, a pizza shop in Northwest D.C., and fired off shots. He told investigators he drove from North Carolina to investigate an unfounded conspiracy theory about the shop being used for child sex crimes. Welch served 4 years in prison and was released in March of 2020.
then the fact that they keep releasing all these. We releasing these criminals back into the communities. Yes, you are doing this stuff. You are doing this stuff. Find out the hard way.
A woman facing charges tonight after police say they found 2 young boys stumbling along a sidewalk in Wind Gap drunk.
Police say when they asked the boys where they got alcohol, their answer shocked them. Here's KDKA's Shelley Bortz.
Police say those 2 boys were walking along Wind Gap Avenue here, shoveling snow for money. But instead of cash, Rochelle Stewart gave them alcohol. Police were called here to Wind Gap Avenue last night around 9 o'clock for a burglary in progress. When they got to the apartment building, they found 2 boys who looked to be around 12 and 13, highly intoxicated. The pair told officers they were walking along Wind Gap Avenue asking people if they needed their driveways shoveled. According to court documents, this woman, Rochelle Stewart, agreed to pay the boys $5 to shovel her front walkway. While the boys were shoveling, Stewart allegedly invited them inside for hot chocolate, then offered them alcohol. Police said 1 drink led to Stewart giving the boys multiple drinks consisting of vodka and wine until they were drunk. One of the boys told police when he was drunk, Stewart sat down next to him, put her leg over his, and touched him inappropriately. The boys immediately left, but had to go back after realizing one of them forgot their coat. That's when police said they showed up. Stewart denied letting the boys in, but police found the victim's coat on her couch and a half-gallon of vodka, half empty. One of the boys also took a video of Stewart sitting with the other, rubbing his shoulder and arm. Stewart was arrested and charged with giving alcohol to minors, corruption of minors, and indecent assault. Reporting in Wind Gap, Shelley Bortz.
Well. Look do we have here. That is interesting. You're like,
Mother is channeling the grief from the death of her 1.5-year-old son to support grieving parents in the same situation.
And Fox 5's Molly McBride sat down with the mother in an exclusive interview to learn about her new foundation and the misdiagnosis she said led to her son's death.
Maya Bodette says if someone would have told her her healthy, beautiful son, Preston Jovie, would pass away at 1.5 years old, she wouldn't have believed them.
I think I died with him that day. They just forgot to put me in the casket.
It was the week of July 4th. Bodette says she took Preston to the ER because he was wheezing. She says he was diagnosed with croup, but her instincts told her it was something more serious.
I don't think it's croup. He doesn't have, the whole time he was there, he never even coughed, not once.
Preston was eventually discharged. When his symptoms continued, Bodette says she spent the next days taking him to his primary care doctor and then back to the ER. She says all of them confirmed the ER's original diagnosis.
And I thought, oh, well, so far 3 doctors and a specialist have been telling me it's croup. Maybe I'm wrong. We left the hospital at 6 p.m. after being discharged. My son died 8 hours later.
According to a Clark County autopsy report, Preston died from acute bacterial tracheitis, a bacterial infection in his trachea.
Why did I believe them?
And at her lowest moment, when she needed help the most, Bodette says the hospital handed her a pamphlet with a handful of resources.
I did not have the support, and while I'm grieving the loss of my son, I had to make sure my other kids are okay.
To protect other parents from feeling as helpless as she did, Bodette started the Preston Jovie Foundation. They connect grieving families to mental health resources, offer financial grants toward burials and memorials, help with funeral arrangements, and even provide meals for families. She says pouring herself into helping others has kept her alive.
He deserved to live, and he deserved to be remembered.
And hopes Preston's memory can live on through every family she helps. Molly McBride, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.
So there's a lot going on when it comes to these kids. You gotta understand that these hospitals are overwhelmed and the misdiagnoses are happening because you're dealing with a lot of incompetent people who are actually in the medical field, in the profession. And you're going there under the ruse, under the veil, that the confidence that, okay, this building, this establishment, these people in here are, well trained, they know what they're doing, they're equipped, everything's clean and sterile, and not everybody's clean and sterile. I mean, when you go to people's houses, what do they really look like? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you knew that your doctor's house was dirty, would you let him operate on you? If you knew your nurse never washed their hands, would you let them put their hand in your mouth? Say, ah, say, ah. Oh, my goodness. It's just bad, y'all. It's just bad. You're seeing many of these kids ending up with really bad situations. Really bad situations. So, can't get away from it. It's a loop. It's becoming a very interesting loop for me now. No different from this one. It's an attack. It's an asthma attack. Mom goes to prison after failing to get help for her 9-year-old daughter having an asthma attack. That's what she's good. Oh my goodness. I did not expect to see that. Oh my googly muggly. She's serving 3 years in prison. You lost your child and Gone. This is in Minnesota. 36 years old. 9. There you go. Can't make this up. People still angry.
Been arrested and charged for making a written threat against Governor Ron DeSantis on social media platform X. 21-year-old Valentin Morales posted, quote, "I think I'm going to kill Ron DeSantis," end quote. He appeared in court today where his bond was set at $5,000. He's been ordered to stay away from the governor.
They still opening their mouth, still making threats. They still doing what they're doing. You know, that ego, that insecurity, really. That insecurity is what got them really in trouble right now. Because, you know, it causes them like, I dare you, bro. I dare you. Like, don't dare me out. You know, and so you're running into that situation right now with that. You know, these kids ain't got nothing. And so everybody's acting out. Everybody acting out. Yeah.
The theft of an ATM from a West Toledo gas station. This happened at the Stop and Go at North Holland Sylvania Road around 3 in the morning yesterday. Police say the front door appeared to have been pried open. Surveillance footage shows a pickup truck pull up to the front, 2 people get out. The suspects allegedly then put a chain around the ATM, and the truck then pulls the machine out of the store. That's when they say a third suspect got out to help put the ATM into the back of the truck, and then the suspects drove off. Police say the ATM was found in a stolen pickup truck at an apartment complex, and police have not named any suspects.
Yeah, I don't know who the suspect is, but it don't matter who it is. Y'all dumb and dumber. Dumb, dumber, and dumbest. So, yeah. Starting to come out to showcasing a whole lot of dumbness. You got to keep in mind that you're dealing with people who are still kind of pissed off about the whole Vivek Ramaswamy situation. You know, mad at every other immigrant. You know, they're still mad at the H-1B visas. You know, we're going to the liquor store and getting mad. And are you on the H-1B? You know what I'm saying? Somebody stupid. Yeah. So it ain't over. Yeah. You're dealing with some El Loco.
Sarah McBride doesn't get a say in this. This is a biological man trying to force himself into women's spaces, and I'm not going to tolerate it. You have the radical left that are trying to erase women and erase women's rights. I'm the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. If some guy in a skirt came by and said, no, that's my achievement, I'm going to be there and standing in the way and saying, hell no. I'm not going to allow men to erase women or women's rights. And I'm going to be standing up here. I will file this again next congressional session. Sarah McBride doesn't get a say. This is about women. This is about girls. This is about our rights and being protected in our private spaces. I don't want to see a man in a women's restroom. That's not a thing. And it's not going to be a thing up here. It's not going to be a thing anywhere across the country.
Ooh, she's saying some stuff. Oh, I'm telling. All right, let me make sure I fix this up.
The country considering retaliatory tariffs on American orange juice, toilets, and some steel products if President-elect Trump goes through with his 25% tariffs on all Canadian products into the U.S. A senior official told the Associated Press Canada's list of tariffs is actually still being worked on. The president-elect said this week he would use economic coercion to pressure Canada to become the nation's 51st state. Top Canadian government officials have said those comments are not a joke and are meant to undermine America's closest ally.
Well. It is getting heavy out here, y'all. It is getting heavy out here. You just got neighbors fighting. You got neighbors fighting.
Well, by the sheer incompetence of California politicians. Did you hear the news or whack?
You talk about the fact that the California wildfires appear to line up in the same exact path as the proposed California high-speed rail system. Also, TikTok has announced that it will be officially shutting down operations in America on January 19th. So say bye-bye. Oh, and the Japanese Yakuza leader has pled guilty to attempting to traffic nuclear materials through New York City. That's weird. That's pretty weird.
So you're saying the whispers of nuclear material being in New York City are true? Good to know. Also not what I'm referring to.
Firefighting aircraft collides with drone over the Palisades fire last night. 10 million LA residents receive accidental evacuation warning. Now, bro, Paris Hilton says her...
Yep. That's what's going on. It is going down. It is going down, y'all. It's not no joke. People are desperate. They're going to be doing a lot of stuff. They're going to be doing a lot of stuff, y'all. Get through all of these. Make sure I get through all of these real quick. Yeah, that's going to cover a lot of it today. Just going through, making sure. Why they look like a caricature face? Horrible. It's just horrible, y'all. Got a lot of it's just going down everywhere, and we just need to be mindful that it's going to take us being able to just stay locked in. Staying locked in, staying aware, because all of these are interesting signs that are popping up everywhere we go. Ever since the beginning, as soon as the new year popped off, it's like, pow. And you got people who are going to be doing a lot of desperate crime. You still got a bunch of the other crazy stuff going on. And I'm going to leave it at that. Let's check I'm going to get off all of these real quick. And I'll check the map around the world. And we'll go from there because it is over. Pack it up, everybody. We're going to pack it up. Because that is what is going on right now. Is that the world is shaking. Ooh-wee. It's earthquakes everywhere. Got storms and earthquakes everywhere. My goodness. You got another cyclone coming on up. Yep. Let's see what we're looking at. South America. You got it's cold. When it's cold outside. Let's check over Europe. Got the bird flu. It's just really sick over there. Why is it so bad over there? People really sick over there in the UK. What is a popcorn? That was an explosion. But yeah, there was an earthquake all throughout this region. So cannot make this stuff up. Taipei, Japan, you got earthquake activity all along that. The volcano in South Korea. Oh, the nuclear. Oh, abnormal discharge of nuclear waste. Wow. Still got stuff going on. And let's see America. It's cold. 62 people under threat of winter storm. Leaves 4,000s without power. Damn, it is power outage out there, huh? So people, it's negative 30 degrees and it's a power outage. So yeah. We schools cancel classes across the southern United States. Burst of winter storms. Yep. It's about that time. So yeah, we're gonna conclude it on that because that's what's going on around the world, y'all. So we're gonna be all right. Gonna be all right. Gonna be all right. Fret not no more. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it pushing. Until next time, y'all. Peace out. Shalom, family.